A very happy 2nd of December to all of you. If you are watching/listening to this, you have survived Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Massive congratulations to you all, and I hope it's been a raving success. Today is Tuesday Tea Break Talks with me, your host, Nick Truman, working in the PPC and SEO world for far too long now. I don't want to admit how old I am, but I am going to share some really, really good headlines with you, and I've been doing this for nearly 2 decades, would you believe? We are having a 15-year anniversary at my agency in February 2026 as well. It's not an invite, unfortunately. Our budgets don't quite cover that, but we are turning 15, which is very, very exciting. Anyway, happy Cyber Monday and Black Friday and December as well, 2nd of December. Normally I have a cup of tea, but unfortunately the teacup is currently empty. And I've been trying to record this quickly because I haven't got much free time today and I'm on a bit of a road trip with some clients next day. So I'm drinking H2O. So this is the H2O, or as the lovely drink Guinness call it, Guinness Clear. I'm drinking Guinness Clear today. So it's glorious and it's really, really good for you. We'll be back with a cup of tea and I'll be in the normal studio again next week. I'm recording from home. Anyway, before that, I've got loads of notes on the screen. We're going to try and go through these and start going through this as fast as we can. Firstly, we've got a couple of quotes of the week. Nice motivating quotes. First one is, content is king. And everybody knows that. And I work in SEO and everyone says content is king. This second half might get me in trouble, but my team put it on the notes. And I'm going to read it out anyway. Content is king, but engagement is queen. And the lady rules the house. Whoops. Anyway, take from that what you will. But yeah, content's great, but you've got to have the engagement. The second one we got is, marketing's job is never done. It's about perpetual motion. We must continue to innovate every day, bringing it back to data mining, revenue growth. And that is what we've actually done with our agency as well, which is one of the reasons I love this quote that Daisy has put in my notes for me today. Let's talk, though, about Shopify news. Shopify have gone a bit quiet on updates, which sounds really sad and depressing. I think it's a fantastic idea because it's currently peak, and what you do not want is your e-commerce platform rolling out tons and tons of updates while peak's going on. If you're not on Shopify, I want you to open a new email right now and type in hello@winningwithshopify.com, or send it straight to me, Nick, N-I-C-K, @winningwithshopify.com. I want to know, what has your uptime been if you're not using Shopify? So send me an email and say, our uptime's been this, and here's a link to our store. I'd be really fascinated to see how that's been going. Shopify has recorded, get this, 100% uptime. There have been no technical issues in Shopify across Black Friday or Cyber Monday and through the whole weekend with any store, which has been astronomical. They do that every year as well. I'm pretty sure we've never had it drop below 99 point. I think it was at 89%. This is as far as it goes. There's a few little bits and pieces going on in the Shopify world, though. You can get Shopify support faster. I mentioned this last week through live chat, which is good, and you can have live chat with a human. But again, like, they had that until 3 or 4 months ago, and now they're doing this big announcement like, hey, we're launching a new thing. And if you're wondering, no, I'm not endorsed directly by Shopify. We're completely dependent, which is why I can be honest about things like that. There was a good blog on the 24th of November that came out. One of my team found this and shared it internally. 96-hour litmus test. What Black Friday weekend says about brands that last. Very interesting whether you're a brand that's been around for decades or you're a brand that's quite new and you want to be around for decades or hundreds of years. So it'd be worth having a look at that. Black Friday exposes a lot of the weakness. But some key takeaways for your next sale. So thinking about Black Friday going on discount, here are some things that you should be thinking about heading into your next sale. And I spoke about this last week. I did a little solo episode last week about Black Friday and things you should have been getting ready last Friday. It's Tuesday now, and if your sale's finished, you can still do some of the stuff I spoke about last week, but you're probably a bit late and you're going to miss opportunities. So lead up matters more than luck. So when we are coming into Black Friday or coming into a sale, one of the things we do on PPC, for example, is we start nudging those budgets up. Even if ROI doesn't come up with it and ROI drops a bit or revenue doesn't increase while the budget's going up, it means we're reaching more people, especially with things like Performance Max. The more you spend on Performance Max, the more it's going to spend on things like display advertising and Gmail inbox and search, text ads, rather than just your traditional Google shopping ads, which we know convert really, really well. What you're doing is you're profiling, you're introducing yourself to new customers at the top of the funnel. So in display ads, and where people might be reading local news or reading about upcoming sales or what are the autumn winter trends, and then your ad pops up. And then a few days later, bang, you're on sale. Someone's already engaged with you. They've clicked through to the site. Or they've seen your banner ads beforehand. So that lead up is really important. Structural readiness. I love this. Structural readiness beats short-term hype. And that is making sure your business grows. I always look at it like a staircase. So you get your foundation sorted, and then you can increase your advertising, go up another step, and you do it one step at a time. The problem with some brands, and Gymshark have had a lot of this, is where they've grown too quickly, and then they've had structural problems, which is exactly what this point's talking about. Gymshark had an issue where they launched and then rolled back, and then relaunched, then rolled back, and then moved to Shopify, their website. They launched a new site. I think it was twice. There's a video from Ben, the founder, on YouTube I've watched a couple of times many, many years ago, where he talks about that journey, and actually he's had such a big frustration where he's launched, I think it was Magento, well, name and shame, launched the Magento store just before a big sale or just before Black Friday, had to roll it back to the old version of Magento, which was breaking and not very good, and eventually moved to Shopify, and they've never looked back. So that having that tech stack in place, so you can, for them, being able to manage the traffic, but also have a think about things like your inventory management, which we can talk about in a little bit. Inventory management, talk about how you're going to make sure you can fulfill products quickly enough, talk about how you're going to have enough customer service staff. So actually not growing too quickly is a really, really important part. The third of these 4 points on Black Friday is around clarity and strategy over scattergun promotions. I won't name any names. We had more than one email on Thursday last week saying like, hey, we're going to do Black Friday tomorrow. We weren't planning to, but can you launch this, this, and this? And it's like, oh my gosh, carnage. Nothing's been thought through, and it just doesn't really work very well. It's a bit chicken and egg though, isn't it? Because unless you've done 5 or 10 Black Fridays already, you don't really know what works and what doesn't. But have a think about the strategy using all the data that you do have, the relationship you have with customers, the products that sell well. And here's something to have a quick think about. And this is not the fourth point, it's something else, but just a side note on this, avoiding the scattergun promotions. If you've got a best-selling product, why would you discount it? It's already a bestseller. You don't need to sell it any faster or sell any more of them. And if you discount it, say you take 40% off, it's quite a chunk. That means you're losing that margin on a best-selling product. And what you're saying to customers about that product, is it really worth the money that we tried to charge the first time? Maybe not. So have a real think about your Black Friday strategy. Plan it all in advance. The only thing you want to really change is we were going to launch on Wednesday, but it's Monday and one of our competitors has just gone live. So actually, should we wait for them to gain a load of sales and then we'll just go live afterwards and do our own second wave? That might be quite effective. Or actually, should we go at the same time? Let's just launch it today and have that flexibility built in and make sure anyone that needs to approve things like that, higher up the food chain, or higher up command, or your founder of the business, make sure that is all in place in advance. You can always change a plan, but you can't make one on the fly that's going to be effective, because if you make one on the fly and it's very scattergun, it's going to be wrong. And I love this final point, a bit like we were saying earlier. Black Friday, Cyber Monday is a system stress test. Success ripples beyond the weekend. So actually, if you are ready to scale, Black Friday can be that soundboard and that springboard that you need. It's hard though, isn't it? Because you don't want to employ customer service staff and bring more products into your warehouse and upgrade the size of your warehouse and invest all that money if you don't know if it's going to work. So actually trying to find a flexible warehouse, trying to find a way that actually we can have a few people working part-time or working a few hours each, but would be keen to do more until we've got enough capacity to hire someone full-time. It gives you a bit more flexibility. So it's worth looking at that as you're growing. Even if you're quite a big business and you're like, we think we need another 30 people in customer service, we'll hire 15, hire 20, and then get a few freelance staff. Or it's a dirty word in the UK, 0-hour contracts. But there are other resources. There are companies you can outsource it to, even temporarily, to stress test it. Okay, we do need those people. Let's go and hire them and do the more cost-effective internal approach. Let's talk about partner news then. So one of our partners, Inventory Planner, we don't have them on the show that regularly because it's quite obvious what they do. If you haven't already gone on to their landing page, which you can get to through our website, Inventory Planner have a 7 days to better inventory management email sequence. And I went through it initially when we first launched that a few months ago. It's really, really useful. We've had incredible feedback and it helps you manage your inventory better. So it's worth going to do. But a good point about Inventory Planner right now, and we did an episode on this last year coming into peak actually, now that I remember, is that your inventory management strategy has got to survive peak. And if you're like any e-commerce business, you've probably got multiple suppliers, and some will have like a 1 week turnaround to get something into your warehouse. Other ones will have more like a 6 to 12 month. again, planning ahead. And one thing I find that gets disconnected as businesses get bigger or more established companies tends to be very disconnected is marketing do not talk to procurement. And the people that actually, I say procurement, people that actually procure the products, or merchandising, who actually get the products in and put them on the shelves. And they don't talk. So we've done lots of projects before. We've got like a calendar of all our SEO keywords or PPC keywords, but by 12 months. And then we go, hey, hang on a minute. This particular, a classic one I've mentioned a few times on the show is prom dresses. Most people think prom dresses sell really well in June, July. They do, but actually a lot of people buy prom dresses in January in the UK, which you wouldn't necessarily expect. In every single industry, in every single type of product, there will be nuances like that. That information is vital to the merchandising team, and actually they can get some really good stock in November, December, into the warehouse, put it on the site, a bit of time to optimize it on SEO, get some good rankings. And then when we hit January, and lots of people are looking for prom dresses in January, we've already got all of our content there. So again, it's good to look at that. There was a year in the UK where there were more people searching for gym memberships in November and December than there were in January and February. Again, interesting learning that one of our clients the reason we looked at that data, one of our clients was selling lots of gym stuff and gym memberships. You get a free gym membership if you bought a product in January and February. Actually, people weren't interested at that time. We should have been doing that in November, December. It's like, start burning the calories now before Thanksgiving, before Christmas Day, and all that sort of stuff. So again, managing your inventory is so important to the business. And actually, if you manage it well, you're getting the right products in at the right time and the ones that sell. And actually, if something sells really, really well, but you've only got 3 color variants, get some more color variants and test those. And if you manage your inventory well, it will highlight some issues with any suppliers or supply chain problems that you could also go and solve those as well. So something that's really interesting, I think, with inventory is if you take it a step further and bring that inventory management into marketing, 2 things you should be looking at on this, and this is 2 platforms you should be looking at, and 2 things you should be looking at in both of those platforms. The things you should be looking at is what products people are browsing, and how does that compare to what products people are buying. So I tend to look at the percentage rate of browses to purchases. So it's a bit like conversion rate, but just how many people viewed this product. It's a really popular product. Everybody seems to be looking at it, but we're not getting many purchases. And actually, the 2 tools you want to use for that is GA4 and Microsoft Clarity. And if you look at that, you'll find very, very quickly there are loads of things that you need to start optimizing, or maybe running an A/B test on your site on those products. What is it about this product? It's really popular, looks great, and sometimes it can be as vanity driven as like the model is really attractive and people see this lovely person. I want to be like that person. Look at it. And then when they start looking at, it's made from the wrong material, or the delivery's slow, or I don't like the colors, or the reviews aren't great, sizing's not great. But actually, I think it's very normal for businesses just to look at purchase data, but not look at the browse data compared to purchase. You might actually find if you remove a couple of high browse, low purchase products from the site, conversion rate might do something quite interesting. It might go up, might go down. But again, you can start checking these things if you look at your data. A few things going on in the agency. There's loads of notes from my team, so thank you, team. And Elliot, I know you love looking for when we talk about Elliot's stuff. So we'll kick off one of yours, Elliot, which is one of your skincare clients. Again, Elliot's been doing a lot of this in the team, adding buzzwords to product titles and Google Shopping, things like bestseller, top rated, most loved is one I've not mentioned before. Again, higher spends on those products and also tends to give better results. So higher spend with some of those what we call buzzwords or USP, not USP, but kind of trigger words, are like best-selling product, go and get this one. There's a couple here from Ruby in the team. So Black Friday deal. I love this one from one of our clients. Black Friday deal, instead of going like, here's a big discount, which is what most people do, this client did Black Friday bundles. So they actually said the average person buys, I think, 1.6, 1.7 products in an order from this client. So we went, all right, we'll do a bundle of, if you buy 3, you get a 4th one for free. And we make more money when you do that. So that it looks like a deal to the customer. The commercials and economics for our client actually make more money. The average order value was normally at £50, average order value for this client. It's been at £75. That's a 50% increase from 50 up to £75 per order. So again, something to think about on this. And we're also doing some stuff as well with free gift over a certain amount. That was another one that worked really, really well, rather than just going 30% of everything, which is easy for a customer to understand. But actually coming up with some of these slightly smarter deals. seem to be more effective for other brands that we work with. Some A/B testing tools. We work with IntelliGems. It's one of the main tools we're using at the moment, but we're testing 2 others. Sorry, IntelliGems. Sorry, Sam and the gang there. We do love you guys. But one thing that's really good about IntelliGems is you can run multiple deals through the site. So you could have version A sees a 30% off, version B sees, buy any 3 products or any 4 products, and the cheapest one is free, kind of thing. So again, really, really smart. And then a final one of our clients, these guys were quite apprehensive about Black Friday, and we've been working with them. I think this is our 3rd or 4th Black Friday with them. Quite apprehensive about this. They didn't want to go on sale at all this year. So there was no sale. And over Black Friday, revenue was absolutely flying. And the best thing is we gained more new, what we call premium customers that spend good amount. And again, I'm recording this on Monday, the 1st of December. So this is all data that's been coming out this morning from the team. Cyber Monday is not quite finished yet. And again, the point being here is actually not discounting over Black Friday is a smart thing. There are more people searching and shopping over Black Friday. If you just have a good product, that can be enough to sell. Again, it's so subjective to the business types. My job and what I want to get across today is there's loads of different ways of doing this. Work out the one that works best for you guys, but definitely test more than one. And you could be like, we're going to test one this Black Friday and a different one next Black Friday and see which one works best. So a couple of points from the SEO team. Launching Black Friday early. Was it beneficial? We've seen quite a few clients do really, really well through paid social this year on Black Friday, or going early on Black Friday rather than waiting until the official Friday itself. Paid social seems to have done well, PPC's done well, but SEO's not seen that much of a lift. We've certainly not seen more traffic coming in from SEO, but we have seen more revenue. But obviously with the caveat being that the margins are thinner now because of the discount. And again, that's something to take into account as a bit of a negative nanny about Black Friday. And brands with multi-year, I mentioned last week, it's part of our secret sauce, something we came out with years ago and copied from a couple of brands here in the UK. Brands with multi-year Black Friday URLs massively, I haven't got any stats on it, but I might try and get some stats over the next few weeks. Again, it'll take a few weeks to get some numbers together because not an obvious thing to check, but they massively outperformed the clients that just went, it's Black Friday, launch loads of stuff. What we mean by multi-year Black Friday URLs is the URL doesn't say like Black Friday 2025. It just says, /collections/Black-Friday. And actually we keep that collection live all year. And we put a different template on it outside of the Black Friday sale just to say, Black Friday 2026 is coming soon, but we don't put it in the URL. So the URL stays static. Point being is Google are rewarding the fact that URL has existed for a long, long time. Final point then. I was going to do a quivia, but I couldn't be bothered to work out how to work out a question for this. So I'm just going to share this stat, which is amazing. Daisy and the team's found this one. And it's from Forbes. Forbes have posted a blog and they've claimed over $12 million was spent every minute between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. on Black Friday. Online shoppers spent $12.5 million every minute, according to Adobe. So again, a couple of different stats, but they're both around the 12 million mark. So $12 million was spent every minute for 4 hours over Black Friday, which is just ridiculous. I'd be lying if I didn't say I was included in that. I hope you've enjoyed today's show. I believe our interview, face-to-face interview, we had somebody come to our office a few weeks ago, and we got that interview going live on Friday, so definitely check that out. If it is the one I'm thinking of, Matt is an absolute legend and guru of e-commerce. He spoke at a meetup we did recently. Do not miss that episode. He has so much to share, so many good questions I asked. He's also really funny and entertaining as well, so it's an amazing episode. And we're sitting in some nice comfy armchairs having a little chat at my office. So if you enjoyed today's show, please hit the subscribe button. Tune in next week. Apologies, I have got a cold and a banging headache going on right now. So apologies for not my happy, chirpy self, or I sound a bit slurry today. But we're back again for another Tuesday Talks next week. And again, if you haven't subscribe to everything we do, follow us on all the social channels, check out our email campaigns, go to wwspodcast.com, sign up to our newsletter and everything else. Hope you can join us again. Thanks for tuning in. I've been Nick. You've been great. Take care.